Have you ever wondered if self-discovery and self-acceptance continue even in old age, defying society's expectations of fading desires and passions? In a world that often sidelines the needs and desires of older adults, the stories of Dona Esperanza and Don Anselmo reveal a profound truth. Life's longings and joys do not simply vanish with age. These cherished elders share how self-compassion and self-love allow them to embrace their evolving selves fully, discovering a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. Watch until the end to learn how they transform societal taboos into powerful acts of self-reverence, offering us all a lesson in living authentically, regardless of age. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. In a quaint, tucked-away town embraced by misty mountains, lived Dona Esperanza, a resilient 80-year-old woman whose spirit seemed woven from the threads of generations. She had seen life in all its vibrant shades, and her eyes sparkled with a wisdom that only time could gift. Known far and wide for her heartfelt tales and ageless insights, Dona Esperanza welcomed anyone who sought her counsel, especially the young souls thirsting for guidance. Every week, she would sit on her favorite bench under the large, sheltering trees in the park, ready to share stories from her life to any who dared to ask life's hard questions. One brisk autumn afternoon, a young man named Marcos, burdened by the weight of unspoken questions, found the courage to approach her. He was hesitant, his voice trembling as he finally managed to speak. "Dona Esperanza, may I ask you something personal?" She looked at him with that warm, patient gaze, inviting him to open his heart. After a pause, Marcos asked, with cheeks flushing pink, about something society often leaves unspoken: self-pleasure in old age. Dona Esperanza's eyes softened even more, her face breaking into a gentle, knowing smile. With a voice as calming as the breeze, she began, "Ah, dear Marcos, let me tell you a story. When I reached my 70s, life felt like a vast, uncharted ocean. My children were grown, off to make their own stories, and my grandchildren, too, were beginning their own journeys. I often found myself in my empty house, surrounded by memories. I had the quiet, so much of it, and in that quiet, I started listening more closely to my own heart, to those little whispers of longing I had ignored for years. Thoughts came to me, questions really, that I had never allowed myself to consider. Could a woman of my age feel desire? Could I still long for something so intimate, so personal?" She took a deep breath, her voice barely a whisper, yet filled with power. "At first, I felt ashamed. I thought surely these feelings were out of place for someone of my age. But something within me said it was time to understand myself, truly and deeply, without judgment. So, I gathered courage and spoke to my doctor. I'll never forget that conversation. It was the first time anyone had reassured me that sexuality is not just for the young, that it's a part of being human, something that stays with us until our very last breath." Her gaze shifted to the distant mountains, as if pulling memories from beyond their peaks. With that understanding, I began a journey of rediscovery. The first steps were hesitant, full of doubt and second-guessing. Yet, over time, as I embraced my body anew, I felt a sense of peace settle within me. Self-pleasure became a balm, a way to reconnect with myself. Each time I allowed myself this sacred moment, I felt more alive, more in touch with my essence. The anxieties that had plagued me for so long seemed to dissolve, and I began to sleep soundly, wrapped in a newfound serenity. A tear glistened in her eye, a testament to her courage in embracing the parts of herself she had once hidden. I grew to cherish my wrinkles, my softening skin, every line and fold. These marks of age became like medals, proof of a life lived fully, deeply. And through it all, I realized that self-compassion, self-love, and even self-pleasure are not indulgences. They are acts of reverence toward the self. She looked back at Marcos, her voice now brimming with conviction. "Of course, Not everyone understood. Some judged, others whispered. They saw only the surface, a woman embracing her body and needs without shame. But I knew, deep in my soul, that embracing our whole selves, our dreams, our desires, is a testament to life itself. Life, my dear Marcos, doesn't stop giving. Pleasure is as much our birthright at 80 as it was at 18. She reached out, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. So, remember this. Do not let shame or guilt silence the call of your spirit. There is beauty, wisdom, and peace in honoring your desires. In each touch, each moment you spend with yourself, you're crafting a connection that transcends age. You're affirming that life, your life, deserves joy, respect, and love. Marcos listened with reverence, each of Dona Esperanza's words sinking deep into his soul. In that moment, he came to understand that life and sexuality are journeys uniquely our own, woven from moments of self-respect, self-discovery, and gentle compassion. He left that conversation feeling lighter, with a newfound understanding that embracing one's needs, both physical and emotional, is essential at every stage of life. In that same quiet town, where stories floated in the mountain air, lived Don Anselmo, a spirited 75-year-old known for his hearty laughter and gift for storytelling. He had a way with words that left those around him contemplating life's complexities with a smile. One sunny afternoon, as he enjoyed his customary coffee in the plaza, he was approached by Sofia, a dear friend from childhood. With a hesitant smile and cheeks flushed with a mix of embarrassment and vulnerability, Sofia confided that she had been struggling with feelings of shame and confusion about her sexuality in her later years. Lowering her voice, she asked Don Anselmo his opinion on self-pleasure at their age. Don Anselmo met her question with a warm, understanding gaze and a comforting smile. He reached across the table, giving her hand a gentle squeeze, as he began to share his story. Sofia, my dear friend, I can't tell you how much I understand those feelings. Society has ingrained in us the notion that intimacy and desire belong solely to the young, that somehow, our years strip us of these parts of our humanity. But, oh, how wrong they are. Let me tell you about a time not so long ago, after my beloved wife passed. The loneliness that followed her absence was unlike anything I'd ever known. My children, though loving, lived far away, and while they visited when they could, the house was mostly silent. It was during this time of quiet that I found myself thinking about what it truly meant to care for my own heart and body. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. His voice softened as he continued. I remembered my younger days, back when my friends and I used to speak of the importance of self-care, of finding peace in our own company. And yet, I felt strange, even embarrassed, considering self-pleasure at my age. I thought surely, these desires should have faded by now. But the more I sat with these thoughts, the more I realized that our need for closeness, for intimacy, doesn't simply vanish with age. It's as much a part of us as our memories, our laughter, our tears. He chuckled softly, a twinkle of humor in his eyes. One evening, after a long day, I decided to give it a try, to honor those feelings instead of pushing them away. At first, I felt awkward, maybe even a bit silly, but as I relaxed, I discovered something beautiful. Self-pleasure brought me a sense of release, a peace I hadn't felt in years. It was a reminder that my body still held joy, that there was a quiet, comforting pleasure waiting to be explored. Over time, this practice became my way of easing the weight of loneliness, of calming my worries. It helped me sleep better, softened the edges of my stress, and brought me closer to the person I had become. With a touch of emotion, he added, and beyond the physical, it reconnected me with myself. I found a way to honor the changes that time had brought to my body, to look in the mirror with compassion rather than regret. Wrinkles became memories, each line a story, a testament to resilience and life lived fully. This journey taught me that pleasure is timeless, a gift that life offers regardless of age. And perhaps most importantly, it taught me to treat myself with kindness, to honor my needs without guilt or shame. Yes, there will always be those who judge, who misunderstand. But I've learned that what truly matters is how we feel within ourselves. Life, Sophia, is far too short to be lived under the shadow of fear or regret." His words lingered in the air, and Sophia felt a wave of relief wash over her. She realized that the journey of self-acceptance was one they could both walk, that intimacy with oneself was a timeless gift, one to be embraced and cherished, not hidden away. "So Sophia," Don Anselmo continued, his voice filled with a kindness that seemed to warm the very air around them, "release any shame you might feel about these desires. Self-pleasure in our later years is not only natural but a profoundly meaningful way to maintain both physical and emotional well-being. It's a way to honor the journey your body has taken and recognize that it still has so much to offer you. This small act of self-care can help us rediscover the joy, comfort, and peace life has woven into each stage, even now." Sophia sat quietly, drinking in every word, feeling the warmth of his wisdom settle around her like a comforting embrace. Hearing Don Anselmo's candid reflections lifted a weight from her heart. For the first time in years, she didn't feel alone in her quiet struggle. His open-heartedness reminded her that sexuality isn't something fleeting, reserved only for youth, but rather a lifelong current that ebbs and flows. It is an essential part of the human experience, one that continues as we grow older, offering comfort, connection, and peace. She realized that nurturing her body, embracing her own needs, and meeting herself with compassion were as crucial now as they ever had been. Inspired by her old friend's vulnerability, Sophia felt an unexpected surge of courage, a newfound commitment to live her remaining years with the same self-compassion and self-love that Don Anselmo had shown himself. The stories of Dona Esperanza and Don Anselmo reveal an often hidden truth. Self-pleasure in old age is not only normal, but can be an essential element of overall well-being, enriching one's life both physically and emotionally. In a world where aging is often framed as a time of loss, they have shown us that it is also a time for profound self-discovery, one that invites us to listen more deeply to our own needs and desires. By embracing their evolving bodies with grace and openness, they have defied the confines of societal expectations, uncovering a deeper connection with themselves that allows them to age with dignity and inner peace. Their courage in honoring their needs teaches us that sexuality is not merely a phase of life that ends but a continuous journey, offering opportunities for self-exploration and understanding, even in later years. Their stories hold a message of liberation for us all. We do not have to live within the narrow expectations of society. The world may tell us that our desires are meant for the young, but Dona Esperanza and Don Anselmo remind us that these longings are woven into the fabric of our humanity. Their wisdom challenges the world's judgments, urging us not to let others' views interfere with our quest for joy, peace, and connection. In their acceptance and courage, we are reminded that true freedom lies in embracing ourselves fully, without shame or fear. With the gentle strength of their wisdom, they teach us that each stage of life offers its own unique beauty, its own call to live fully and love deeply. Through self-compassion, we can learn to embrace our desires without guilt, knowing that they are a testament to the life that still pulses within us. As Dona Esperanza and Don Anselmo have shown, life's pleasures do not fade with age. They merely change shape, inviting us to explore them with new understanding, gentleness, and grace. And by choosing to live with this acceptance, we can approach each chapter of our lives with open hearts, knowing that we are worthy of joy, connection, and love, no matter where we are on our journey. Thank you for joining us on this journey of rediscovery and self-acceptance. We'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from Dona Esperanza and Don Anselmo's stories, and how will you bring that lesson into your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights and stories that inspire.